Hey, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about makeup because, yeah, I get lots of questions about makeup. I get lots of questions about doing makeup, applying makeup, what makeup that I use. And this was not something I always knew how to do, if I'm being honest. I grew up a tom girl. Yeah, is that what they call it? Tom girl? Not tomboy. Anyway, I grew up completely into sports, and my idea of makeup was buying the little one color of CoverGirl. I can remember Champagne Nights or something, and I would take the little applicator and just put it across my eye. And when I didn't know how to do my makeup, and it wasn't until I started to get into business and started to become successful and started started being around a whole different group of people that I can remember looking at people in magazines going, wow, but those were like celebrities, right? Like they knew how to do their makeup. And so I did the next best thing. I heard about a makeup brand called MAC Cosmetics, and I would go to the MAC counter and I would have them do my makeup, and I would sit there with a mirror and I would watch them. And I probably did this about 10 different times of having them do my makeup. I would buy some of the products, take them home with me. I would have them draw it out on a diagram. And that is how I learned how to do my makeup. I would go in and say, hey, I saw this look. I saw this look. Show me how to do a smoky eye. Show me how to do a cat wing. Show me how to contour. Show me how to do all these things. And one of the things I learned very quickly was that no matter what kind of makeup you have, if you have drugstore makeup, there is one thing that can make it magical, and that is brushes. Having the right brushes to do the job. And there is something to having some good quality makeup. It makes your job easier when you have good quality makeup. But the bottom line is if you don't have good brushes, it doesn't matter if you have expensive or cheap makeup, you're not going to be able to do much with it. And so as much as I can recommend all my makeup favorites, if you don't have brushes, it's not going to matter. And I have a pretty good mix of drugstore to medium range to MAC brushes, which are more expensive. And so I'm going to go ahead and share with you my favorites. And some of these that are from the drugstore have replaced my high-end bougie makeup brushes because I just like them better. At the end of the day, I don't care what the brand is. I care how it applies my makeup. If it makes my job easier, then I'm all about it. So I want to start first with the face brushes. I had them all separated until I got all excited and shoved them together. All right, let me get my face brushes. Let me get them. Let me get them. Let me get them, girl. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Those are all eye brushes. All right, cool beans. So the first one I want to start with is what I use to put my powder on. So this right here is a e.l.f. brush. Guys, I have a powder brush up there that I paid $50 for. $50. It don't make me holla. $50 don't make you holla. This is an e.l.f. powder brush. That's the name of it, powder brush. And it has a flat end, and it just does so amazing for powder. No matter what kind of powder, high end, low end, this has been my absolute favorite. And it's a couple bucks from Target, the drugstore, wherever you want to get it from. And I'm going to link all these below. I'm going to list them and link them so that way it'll just make it easier, your job easier to go get them. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and what should we go to? Let's go to this brush right here. This is we'll stick with e.l.f. This is another e.l.f. brush, and this is the foundation blurring brush. So the foundation blurring brush. And this is what I use. So after I put on my foundation, I conceal my under eye, and then I set it. This is what I use to go in and set my under eye right here. It is the best brush. It just fits right under here. This is what I use to brighten up this area with some lighter powder. And it's just, I don't know, man, this brush, and I've had both these brushes for years now, and they're still working. But this is the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. All right, my next brush is gonna be what I use to contour. This is what I go in and then even right here. So I use this to contour my cheeks and I use this to contour right underneath here in my jawbone. And this is gonna be from Morphe. Morphe is a makeup company that I first heard about from a YouTuber about 7 or 8 years ago. And they always talked about how amazing their brushes were. So I tried a couple, and I started preferring those brushes over my MAC brushes. And so then I ordered a couple more. And now 80% of my brushes come from the company Morphe, and they're a fraction of the price. And I prefer them over most of my high-end brushes. So this is a Morphe R36, and you can see it's tapered. And again, this is what I use to contour. It just does such a great job on the jaw contour and the cheek contour. Moving along, the M501. This is my highlighting brush. This is what I use to put highlighter on my nose and my cheekbones right here. If I'm being extra glowy, I can use it right up here, you know, extend it on up. And this is what I use. Absolute favorite brush. And it doesn't leave hairs on your face or anything like that, but this is my favoriteest highlighting brush. Next brush is gonna be for my nose contour. This was very intimidating for me, but this is from Morphe. It's an M0. Put this in my thing, and I just take this right along here, right along here, right here, right here. I blend it up into here, but this brush has made, and I even have some of them specialty nose contouring brushes that are just made for the nose contour. Still, this is what I always go back to, this brush right here. All right, this is Morphe E4, okay, E4. This is great if you're doing your eyeshadow if you have any fallout that comes on your eye right here. It can be a headache because all of a sudden that can get into your skin, and it can make your under eye look darker instead of brighter. This brush, when I go in, it just magically sweeps off any makeup stuff that has fallen on my under eye, and it doesn't scratch or mess up my makeup. I can sweep it and it doesn't mess anything up. All right, this one right here, this is the Morphe Y1, and this is my bronzing brush. So this is what I use to bronze with. If I want to take any bronzer up here along my hairline, on my temple, this is what I'm gonna bronze with right here. Love this brush. My blush brush is a E3, and this is what I use for blush. And these are very similar. This one is just not as dense. So I like this one for bronzer, I like this one for blush. You could probably use the same brush for both. I'm just that girl, a little bit extra, that has a separate one for each one. So those are my face brushes. That's what I use for my face. Now let's go to the eyes. Now, I'm gonna say, I do have several fluffy blending brushes. You could get away with just a couple, but I have several because they're a couple bucks a piece. And depending on the look, depending on the pigment of the color, yeah, I have found I like different brushes. So I'm gonna walk through them. Let's start with these brushes first. This is what I use for eyeliner. Did you know, when I first started wearing eyeliner, I used to use the stick eyeliner, and I still do sometimes. But 90% of the time I use my eyeshadows as eyeliner. And these three brushes right here help me do that. This is like a smudger brush, and this is a 14 brush from Sephora. So this just comes from Sephora. It is their smudge number 14, and this underneath here with some shadow, you just smudge it out. This brush right here is like magic. You can just smudge it out, and it creates the smudgiest, smokiest, but not controlled. You can see it's very small, tight. It is just, this brush is amazing. This brush is gonna give you more of a tighter, this is a Morphe M432. And if you can see that, this is gonna be more of a tighter line right along here. This is gonna give you a tighter line right along your lash line. This one right here, so a lot of times I'll go in with this first. I'll go in with this brush first, and I'll do like a really tight line along my lash line. And then I'll go in with this, with the maybe I'll go in with black on this, and then I'll go in with a brown. And this is like a pencil brush. And I will just take the brown, and this is a pencil brush, and I will just work it and kind of use it to smudge that. Just like that. that make sense? So these brushes right here are what I use for liner. Okay, so continuing with the eye brushes. These ones right here, okay, so this one first, this is a MAC 252 brush. And this is what I use to put on my primer on my eyes, my paint pot. And this is just like a flat rounded brush, and I dip it in my paint pot and I put my paint pot on my eyes. You can also use a finger, but I've had this brush for 8 or 9 years and it's still ticking. That's the great thing. If you invest into good brushes, they will last such a long time. It's not like foundation where you pay 20 bucks for a foundation and then it's gone in a month or 2 months or 3 months. These will last for a very long time if you invest into really good brushes. All right, these next ones are gonna be like a fluffier blending brush. This is gonna be a Morphe E22. You can see it's a fluffy blending brush. This one's not as tapered. This is going to be a Morphe R38. You can see that. And then here we're gonna have a MAC 224, okay? And then a Morphe M514. So these brushes right here are what I am going to, and then this one right here, this is an e.l.f. This is the Flawless Concealer brush, but let me show you. So I will load up my darker color on one of these fluffy brushes, and then I will stamp it on my eye, and then I will go in and blend. Now, if I am using a really pigmented color and I stamp it on, the e.l.f. Flawless Conceal brush, I will take it and I will use that. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit bigger. I will use that to blend that baby out. Just gives a little more pressure without me having to have pressure, if that makes sense. So those are the fluffy brushes. This one right here is a MAC. This is one of the first brushes I ever bought, MAC 224. I use this to highlight right here above my brow bone. Boom, boom. So when I'm all done with makeup, I go in here, use that to highlight right above there. This brush, again, one of the first brushes I ever bought. I bought this in California. This is a MAC 227. One of my all-time favorite brushes. I use this so much. So when you're done doing the outside of your eye with the darker color, you take this brush, you dip it into your eyeshadow, and then you take it and you stamp your eyeshadow on your eye just like this. And you can stamp it as high up as you want, as low down as you want. And this brush right here, you can see it's in the exact shape that you want to stamp on your eye. This brush makes doing your eye makeup so much easier, so much easier. And then this brush right here, this is a MAC 210. This is what I use to do the inside corner highlight of my eyes. Completely opens up your eyes, game changer for your eyes. So you can see I really have a range, of brushes that I use. But the newest brush that I have here is 3-4 years old. That's the newest one. Most of these brushes are 5, some of them are 8 to 10 years old, and they are still working. I use dish soap to clean them. I take some dish soap, some hot water, I clean them out, I let them dry, get all the makeup out of them once a week. And yeah, I used to buy really expensive, really expensive makeup cleaner. But one of my girlfriends who actually has a makeup company, she was the one that told me about using dish soap. Because I was like, what do you use to clean your brushes? She's like, Dawn? I was like, really? Seriously? And she was like, yeah, that's what I use. And so I was like, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I will stop buying makeup cleaner. And so anyway, let me know in the comments if you have a favorite brush. And again, I will link these all in the comments below. Make sure if you have not, hit the subscribe button. We do upload 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. And Tuesday nights we're live. And you don't want to miss any fit tips, weight loss tips, and then give the video, hit that like button down there, the thumbs up, go ahead and hit that as well if you don't mind. It really helps out our channel. And I would greatly appreciate it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.